Back in 1980, the Garden Club thought we should have an Arboretum and Botanical Garden. I was involved with the Garden Club at that time. Originally, we took a farm that was given to the city of Dubuque, and they leased us 10 acres. Well, now we have the whole 65 acres. Many times you work like on Saturdays and Monday evenings while you have a job. Then once you retire, then you can start all of a sudden putting full time in, and then you get somebody like Wiley that puts full time in too, and it makes life a lot easier to have 2 or 3 people that are here all the time to run what's going on. So it's very nice that way, but I've been with it 33 years.
The people come up really with the ideas. All we do is make them come together, and that's the most important part. When you get everybody involved and getting their ideas, and that's the way the Arboretum has grown over the 30-some years plus here. It isn't one individual, it's everybody's ideas coming together and making what this place really is.
Volunteers tend to be thinking people that have their own ideas, so you need to communicate with the volunteers and get them all to work together as what's the best for the Arboretum, not an individual operation. We work as a team here, and I think that's very important. And Wiley and I, we have one situation: there's no problem in the world can't be solved without a dish of ice cream.
That's true.
In Dubuque, probably every first, second, and third grader has had a tour of the Arboretum. We explain growing of plants, we explain transplanting, we go through a Japanese garden, which is so different from the English formal garden. We also have the middle schools that come out and spend a full day at the Arboretum. We start by talking about Arboretum horticultural, that is an opportunity for jobs for men and women equally. Then the kids spend a third of the day in class out here, a third of the day working at the Arboretum, and a third of the day identifying trees. One of the young men, we were talking about ladybugs, he wanted to know where the men bugs were. The children's party is very popular in the spring. We have a lot of things for the kids to do. We have games for them to play, face painting. We always have a fire truck here, which they're very impressed with. It's a great family get-together for the kids and the adults to spend a day out here.
I'm 15 years old, but I started when I was 11.
I'm 84 years old, and I've been working at this all my life.
I started off with the Japanese garden team, pretty much working on the Japanese garden, pulling the weeds and trimming the trees. Judy, and on the green team, she's been telling me weeds and poison ivy and poison oak, and what weeds to pick and what's a flower and a plant. I have made a lot of new friends since I started working here. Lloyd, he teaches me new things every day, how to work on trails and work with machinery safely and how to do everything a safe way.
Well, I went to school in Dubuque, started there in 1934. When I went to the service, 51, where the Korean War had started, and I went to the combat engineers and did my training there, and then I went to tractor scraper school. When I came home from the service, I was 24 years old, and I thought it'd be about maybe time to settle down. A friend of mine was on vacation up at North Buena Vista along the river there, and he wanted me to come up and fish with him because there was nothing but girls there, he said, his wife and 2 of her girlfriends. And so when I got there to go fishing the next morning, here my wife was there. When I met her, I knew she was the one that I had been kind of waiting for a long time. And then when I started working up here, why then she didn't want to stay home all day by herself, so she'd come up here and start it out with the girls, and she kind of liked doing that. Started the planning with the green team, and so she enjoyed working here as a volunteer. Gene Heineman, who was the president of the Dubuque Arboretum, he would come over and watch us working. So then he conned me into coming over and doing a couple light jobs for him. That's how I got started over here. Once you start working at the Arboretum, there's so many things to do, you know you're not going to run out of any work to do. It's like having a 200-acre farm. Guys in our crew, especially the two of the ones that have been here the longest with us, why, they love to harass each other steadily through the day. It makes the day go fast. And then the one will say to the other one, if you'd work a little faster, then I wouldn't have to work so hard. And that goes on through the day. But they both really like each other. So we call them Heckle and Jekyll because they're at each other, and that makes the time go by fast. And then whenever the girls from the green team, if they get a job someplace, why we have a way of taking care of them right away because they supply coffee on Thursday morning, and sometimes they got cookies or anything else there. You never know.
So we also have like a black team. They do electrical work, plumbing work. They come in and do that. Our brown team does construction, building of fences, move stones around. So we have a lot of skilled men and women here who have nothing to do with growing of plants, but they have with maintaining and building and adding on to the Arboretum.
And you wouldn't see the beauty here at the Arboretum if it wasn't for the green team. The green team are the ladies that grow all the flowers, the annuals here, from seed. And I call them the dream team because they're the ones that beautify the gardens.
Also, we have a group that comes in Friday morning, cuts grass, trims grass. And as you can guess, there's a lot of grass to cut here in the Arboretum.
When I started here, we really didn't have a budget. We didn't have committees that took care of the finance, the planning. And since that time, we had budget meetings. We set a budget for the year. We try to stick within that budget. We have planning before we get build a building or build a garden. It's all planned out. And we have a lot of individuals put their input into it. And then we have the different teams here that make it all happen. Jack and me is just a small part of it, but the big part is the people that all involved in the Arboretum here makes it all come together. Since I started, it's got to be a business. It's ran like a business. It's the way it should be ran, and I'm glad to be part of that, working here at the Arboretum.
I've had the privilege to serve as the Dubuque Arboretum and Botanical Gardens first executive director. Some of the reasons that the board of directors made the decision to take on paid leadership was because the Arboretum was experiencing growth year after year. Along with that growth has come additional responsibilities and tasks. Some of our volunteers, they started in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and now are in their 70s and sometimes 80s. We wanted to make sure that the Arboretum could continue to grow as well as be sustainable for the foreseeable future. When I came on board, some of the seasoned volunteers of the Arboretum, as well as some of the staff from the city of Dubuque, we talked about what might be the future of the Arboretum. And when we talked about that, we developed new visions as well as some strategies that might help us get there. We hope that you will become a part of that vision in the future. The Dubuque Arboretum and Botanical Gardens invites you to come grow with us.
You're getting into top secret stuff here.
I've had the privilege to serve as the Dubuque Arboretum and Botanical Gardens. What am I? Thank you.
Okay, we kept our stomachs in pretty good too, didn't we? Okay.